No. You know what's not justified? Using armed violence to try to kill people in the Capitol. That's not justified.
Answer this question. Answer this question.
What is
was
the
it
question?
appropriate? The question is, was it appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what...
Okay, folks, get ready because things got seriously heated in the latest episode of Real Time with Bill Maher. It was fireworks all around as Maher confronted guests who were, let's say, knee-deep in woke ideology. And let's be real. When even Bill Maher, known for leaning liberal, begins to deconstruct woke arguments, you know it's about to go down.
No. You know what's not justified? Using armed violence to try to kill people in the Capitol. That's not justified.
Answer this question. Answer this question.
What is
was
the
it
question?
appropriate? The question is, was it appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course. You don't follow this.
Saying you know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
Well, then you would know about this.
I do know about that.
These guests kept circling back to the same old points, mostly Trump, which got a bit predictable. But Maher wasn't buying it. He countered each of their statements head-on, and honestly, it felt like a wake-up call for the audience. Quick side note, if you're into bold, unfiltered takes that cut through the noise, smash that subscribe button. I'll wait. Done? Welcome aboard. Now that we're all up to speed, let's break down this fiery exchange. The night started with Maher tackling the big issue, media bias.
Well, you're acting like you know.
I do know about that, and I do watch Fox, but the point is, we're going to prove now that the press tried to.
They're admitting it.
The press is admitting it.
Yes, that's not even an issue anymore. They're saying, yes, we basically did this because we didn't want this to throw the election. Yes?
I don't know that they've all said this, and I believe strongly
well, the New York
in the
Times
First
definitely
Amendment.
did.
My dad was a reporter. I believe in it, and I think you have to make sure that you're treating people fairly. But I think Rob's point here is that we are dealing with a man who used to be the president right now, who literally tried to lead an armed insurrection.
Maher, never one to sugarcoat, put his guests on the spot. Why does the press play favorites? Why are some stories muted while others are magnified? Naturally, the Hunter Biden scandal came up, and how the media seemingly tucked it away before the elections. This wasn't just speculation. Maher brought receipts. He plainly stated the media appeared to withhold the Hunter Biden story to avoid derailing the anti-Trump momentum. Was that ethical? That's up to the viewers to judge, but Maher wasn't. Done. He directly asked his guests if they were aware of it. Awkward silence followed. His guests stammered, tried to shift blame back to Trump, but Maher stayed sharp. He doubled down, emphasizing how media bias conveniently shows up when it fits the agenda. Then came the January 6th topic. It hit hard. The panel stood their ground, branding it an insurrection and a national tragedy.
This is not a political party anymore. I don't know what this is. This is some, we call it the cult, whatever. But it's this. I believe there's a Christian nationalist movement that's very frightening.
Well, there is,
and I've actually am finishing up a documentary on it called Christian Nationalism: The Danger. It's called God and Country: The Danger of Christian Nationalism, and it's basically they take somebody like Donald Trump who doesn't espouse anything that they believe in, and they elevate him to godlike status, and that whatever he does is okay. So,
first of all, Trump was losing steam before the raid at Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
The election. He lost by 7 million votes.
Yeah, but he was not as unpopular right after the election as he was right before the Mar-a-Lago raid. Right. He was steadily going down. DeSantis was stealing his thunder. Yeah. And it looked like DeSantis was going to get the nomination, or at least had a fighting chance. Then the raid came, and look, I don't agree with you about Archie Bunker. There are Republicans peeling away. I don't think he would have been one of them. I don't think he was not a bright guy, and it was all based on loyalty and personality, and also that he was an angry guy.
Yeah.
who was not happy with his life, and that's what fuels Trump.
Well, you
voters.
might be.
But Maher didn't challenge the severity. He questioned the narrative around it. Why is this one event used repeatedly to bash Trump, while other violent acts get brushed aside? At this point, Maher's frustration with the repetitive talking points became clear. Even the audience sensed it. The energy in the room changed. Watching Maher dismantle each dramatized Trump criticism was striking. The guests, as expected, stuck to familiar phrases: armed insurrection, media's responsibility, threat to democracy. But Maher urged them to look beyond. Are we so fixated on Trump that we're ignoring deeper problems like economic instability or justice reform? Again, Maher wasn't downplaying January 6th, just highlighting how the national focus might be misplaced. His guests clung to their narrative with impressive commitment. You had to admire the effort. But the repetition started to show. Same arguments, different day. Then came the shift. The debate moved to Trump's legacy. And that's when Maher hit a deeper note. It wasn't just about Trump's reputation, it was about the bigger picture. What is America turning into? Maher directly asked, has the media created a myth that's beyond criticism?
You recently mentioned that you believe Archie Bunker would have supported Trump but would have condemned the insurrectionist. How do you think he'd vote in the next presidential election?
I think he's one of those people that would have had enough of Trump at this point. Yeah. Yeah. And you see a lot of Republicans peeling off now. And I think that's a good thing, because
The guests clearly weren't comfortable. They tried steering the discussion away, but somehow it always looped back to Trump. It started feeling a bit desperate. The audience noticed too. Gasps, murmurs, all signs of a crowd realizing the conversation was going places most media won't go. And then came one of the most compelling moments. How do you differentiate between genuine art and propaganda? Actor Rob Reiner, known for his passionate political takes, chimed in but repeated the usual points. Maher, calm and composed, invited him to look at it differently. What if Trump isn't the problem, but a symptom of a wider cultural fatigue with mainstream politicians and media narratives? Honestly, it was refreshing to see Maher's guests confronted with real questions. In a world of echo chambers, where everyone parrots the same lines, Maher, whether you agree with him or not, forces people to confront their beliefs. This episode of Real Time gave us a rare window into the raw tensions fueling today's political discourse, the grip of woke culture on media, the endless Trump fixation, and the carefully crafted narratives surrounding it all. It leaves us with a tough question. Are we seeing a true reflection of reality, or just an expertly curated image from those in power? So, what do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. And if you don't want to miss out on the hottest celebrity news, make sure to subscribe to Daily Finder.